Breaking news! The Cleveland Browns offseason just dropped some bombshells, and if you're a Browns fan, you're going to want to pay attention, because what we just saw unfold in OTAs could reshape how this team enters the 2025 season. Forget everything you thought you knew about this depth chart, because a fifth-round rookie quarterback is making headlines, a new running back is forcing his way into the spotlight, and a familiar face under center may not even be in the conversation anymore. And trust me, we're just scratching the surface. I'll give you all the details, but first, be sure to like this if you've been a true Browns fan for 16 plus years. It's great to see fans of all ages. There are people here who have been bleeding brown and orange for 30 plus years. With the utmost respect, if you can, comment something like "Let's go Browns. Together we are strong." Let's start with the name that's suddenly on every Browns fan's radar, Shedeur Sanders. You've probably heard of Colorado, but this kid is showing he's more than just a college prospect. A fifth-round pick? That label is starting to feel like a misnomer. Sanders arrived in Berea and made an impression that few rookies can. Accurate throws in the transfer window, poise in the red zone, and a growing chemistry with his targets? All of that was on full display in OTAs. Now, remember, these are jerseys and shorts we're talking about, not full-face pads, and he hasn't faced a first-team defense consistently. But it's all about the tools, the reads, the processing, the arm. It's there. And while no one is saying he's ready to start in place of Joe Flacco in Week 1, what's clear is this. If Flacco doesn't start, the only name in play right now for QB2 is Shedeur Sanders. But he's not the only rookie shaking things up. Quentin Judkins is making it look easy. Like NFL ready from day one kind of easy. The way he's cutting, the bounce he's got out of the backfield, it's textbook. Sports Illustrated nailed it when they said Judkins looked like a prototypical NFL running back. This isn't about potential. It's about readiness, strength, patience, burst. He's got it all. And let's not forget the situation in Cleveland's running back room. With uncertainty lingering and opportunities wide open, Judkins is not just knocking on the door, he's about to kick it down. He could be carrying the load for this team sooner than expected. Then there's Carson Swessinger, another young player quietly emerging from the shadows. You don't hear much about rookie linebackers taking command early, but Swessinger is different. His football IQ is off the charts. Jordan Hicks couldn't stop praising his instincts, his ability to diagnose plays, drop back in coverage, swarm to the football. This guy is already being whispered about as a future signal caller, a potential grain down on the defense. If you're a Browns fan looking for the next leader on defense, you might want to start watching number 53 a little closer. And let's talk about Jeudy, who's emerging not just as a reliable wide receiver, but possibly the guy in Cleveland's receiver room. The connection he's building with Joe Flacco? It's real. Locker mates, daily conversations, on-field chemistry, it's all happening. Jeudy is showing he's ready to step into that WR1 role with Elijah Moore gone, and he's doing it with clean footwork, sharp routes, and the kind of experience that can turn this passing game into a real threat if the QB play holds up. But now we have to shift, because for every riser, someone's got to fall. And unfortunately, the biggest eyebrow raiser? Deontay Hardy. A no-show in voluntary OTAs. Now, yes, it's voluntary, but when you're a player with a track record of being moved around, Steelers, Texans, Ravens, and now Browns, you can't afford to miss reps, especially not with a new team, new coaches, and new quarterbacks. This was a chance to make a mark, and instead, he's given fans more questions than answers. And let's be real, if it doesn't work in Cleveland, where does it work? The same concern is growing louder around Deshaun Watson. Harsh? Maybe. But real? Definitely. Watson didn't take the field at OTAs, and the vibe around his place on the team feels like a slow fade to black. 2 rookie quarterbacks brought in. Flacco added. Kenny Pickett traded for. The writing's on the wall, and it's in bold ink. When you mix injury history with a long line of off-the-field controversy and declining play, the path back to being the guy gets murky. And now, Watson feels like QB5. That's not just a fall, it's a cliff drop. And speaking of Kenny Pickett, what exactly is his role in all this? Brought in as insurance? Trade bait? Maybe both. He's stuck in that purgatory between starter and backup, but the arrow doesn't point up. He's QB2 for now. But with Sanders and Gabriel showing promise, and Flacco firmly entrenched as QB1, Pickett might just be the odd man out. His 2024 tape? Mid. That's the nicest way to put it. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 appearances. That doesn't scream franchise quarterback, it whispers backup. And maybe that's the silver lining here. If Pickett doesn't rise in the depth chart, maybe he finds value elsewhere on the trade block. The Browns could recoup a pick, maybe a 5th or 6th rounder. At this point, that might be the best move for both sides. But let's hit pause right here, because we've got more ground to cover. You've just heard the biggest shakeups from OTAs, the names you need to watch, and the futures that might already be written. But we're not done. The second half is coming, and it dives even deeper into what this all means for 2025 and how this roster could truly shape up by week 1. Because when you really look at it, these OTAs didn't just give us a glimpse of who's ahead, they gave us clarity on what's likely coming. Browns fans, this is a team at a crossroads. Every position group is being redefined, and the coaching staff isn't pulling punches. They're giving the young guys real reps, they're pushing the vets, and in some cases, they're making it clear that the pecking order is no longer based on reputation, it's performance or bust. Let's revisit Shedeur Sanders for a moment, because this narrative is far from over. If you're the Cleveland Browns, and your first-round franchise quarterback is on the fringe of irrelevance, the fifth-rounder who's stacking up good days in OTAs suddenly becomes more than just a project. This isn't just about how Sanders looked in non-padded practices, this is about how he's learned, how quickly he's processing reads, how decisively he's throwing. The coaching staff isn't blind. They see the spark, they see the future. And let's be honest, if Sanders continues this momentum into minicamp and preseason, the idea of him jumping Kenny Pickett on the depth chart isn't some hot take. It's likely. Now pivot over to that running back room again. Judkins is only the tip of the iceberg. His emergence is putting pressure on the rest of the backfield. And here's what makes it even more interesting. The Browns aren't trying to slowly groom him, they're preparing him for real action. Think about what that means. If Nick Chubb's return gets delayed or scaled back, Judkins could easily take the majority of first-team reps. That cut he made outside for a massive gain? That wasn't a fluke. That was vision, instinct, and elite burst. Traits that don't take time to develop, they show up immediately. And that's what he's doing. Showing up, every rep. Let's swing back to defense. We talked about Carson Swessinger as a rising star, and here's why you should care. This isn't just about a rookie flashing in June. This is about a guy already calling out formations, already reacting like a seasoned vet. He's not hesitating, he's anticipating. Coaches love that. Teammates trust that. And when you're a linebacker trying to carve out a role, especially on a unit that's already strong, you need that edge. He's got it. It's the kind of presence that could allow the Browns to get creative with their packages. More speed, more coverage versatility, and most of all, more unpredictability for opposing offenses. And what about Jeudy? The headlines have been about his potential breakout, but let's talk about what's really happening. Chemistry. He's bonding with Flacco, yes, but he's also becoming the vocal point in that receiver's room. There's no more sharing the spotlight with Elijah Moore. This is his room now. The connection with Flacco isn't just timing routes. It's trust. It's communication. Jeudy is in position to finally play like the first-round pick Denver thought he was, and Cleveland desperately needs him to. Because with a potentially shifting quarterback situation, a WR1 that can consistently create separation and move the chains becomes invaluable. But let's not sugarcoat the concern. Deshaun Watson, this isn't just bad optics. This is the unraveling of a career that was once one of the league's brightest. From legal issues to injuries, and now to being completely out of the OTA narrative, it's a steep fall. And if fans are still holding on to hope, the writing on the wall is becoming harder to ignore. The Browns didn't draft 2 quarterbacks and sign Joe Flacco because they were confident in Watson's return. They did it because they're preparing for life without him. It's that simple. His contract might keep him on the roster, but his name isn't in the future plans. He's QB5. He's done. That's the reality. Kenny Pickett's outlook isn't much brighter. He's caught between a rising tide of youth and a seasoned veteran who understands the system. And the Browns know it. So if there's any chance to salvage his value, don't be surprised if he's moved before the season starts. There are teams out there that might take a flyer on him as a backup. And if Cleveland can flip him for a mid to late round pick, it's a win. Because as of today, he's not part of the plan. So here's where we stand. Sanders